Today's episode of Triathlon Soup. We are talking with Tony Sapp, owner of Negative Split Productions and a race director as well. Tony, great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Of course. So, we'll start off by talking about the giant race that you have down in Houston that has 1,600 athletes in it. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so the Houston, what now is called the Houston Kids Triathlon. It started off being called the Typhoon Texas Kids Triathlon in 2016. Uh, Former business partner of mine and I had a vision when we saw a new water park getting built by the Katy Mills Mall of producing a kids only event. Um, so the water park was scheduled to open, I think it was Memorial Day in 2016. So this was like mid 2015 timeframe. So we went and talked to the ownership group to see what they thought about the idea. They loved it. So the Typhoon Texas Kids Triathlon was the first event at the water park, and opened up with 1,100 kids registered. So it was a huge event that really did a lot more than what we expected, and it's just grown and grown ever since. A lot of history, a lot of things we've done to make it a very inclusive event for athletes of all ages and skill levels. We take anywhere from we've had some 5-year-olds complete, and we take all the way up to 17-year-olds now, offering both a short and long course distance. And we opened it up last year to any age can choose whichever course they want. Now, instead of it was previously we had it set up where the younger kids did short course and older kids did the long course. But we found over the years that some of the older kids they need something to get introduced to multisport, and that's the goal, is to introduce as many kids to multisport as possible. So
Tony, when you say short course and long course, is long course a 70.3 miler? Is that a 1.2 mile swim in the lazy river? What are we talking?
So we scale it down based on height, based on the average height of age. So a long course, instead of being 70.3, is a 225-meter swim, a 4-mile bike, and a 1.6-mile run. So we're close. We're getting there. The idea is by the time they're 18, they'll be ready for a 70.3 immediately after completing one of our events. That's a joke,
Nice.
by the way.
Well, and you have different combinations, right? It's just not strictly just the triathlon.
Right, we do. We offer a couple different options. Not quite as many as Cal Tri Events offers, but pretty close. We do have a splash and dash option and a ride and dash option. We have talked about in the past about doing a parents event on the Friday before, but that's kind of gone by the wayside. So we have full triathlon, swim, bike, run. We have the splash and dash, which is just the swim and the run, and then the ride and dash, which is just the bike and the run.
Very cool. Do you see kids kind of transition from the dual sport to the triathlon, kind of as
We've had a few.
okay,
Yeah, we've had a few. Most actually, I mean, the race is so beginner friendly, really, with the swim in the lazy river. The bike is on a closed course around a mall loop where there's no cars at all. The run is on a closed course as well with no cars at all. A lot of the kids really just jump right in and do the triathlon. Really, what drives the other options is most of the kids doing the splash and dash either don't own a bike or they are not comfortable on the bike in a competition setting. Most of the kids doing the ride and dash just don't know how to swim. So that's how we opened it up to everybody. So anybody can get involved in multi-sport. It's not just a triathlon. It's all kinds of different options.
yes, that's awesome. So you guys have the athlete first initiative. So you really try to focus on the athlete experience and making sure we take care of the athletes in the space. Why is that important to you guys?
Yeah, so the athlete first initiative kind of it's been a lot of the things that we've rolled into the athlete first initiative were things that we've been doing since I started in event production in 2015. Things like communicating regularly with the athletes, getting back to them within less than 24 hours, that was always a pain point when I was doing events, was just trying to get in touch with somebody and never getting a response. Deferrals, transfers, those kinds of things. We've always offered those kind of things, but we've never really advertised that we did. So about a year and a half ago, I just kind of was thinking of things that differentiate us from other events, because so we do produce some large events, but Negative Split Productions is not a big behemoth of a company. It's really just me and one part-time employee right now. So I just wanted to kind of put all the things together that we've been doing into a package, and then we added some new things as well. The idea behind the Athlete First Initiative is any event that's involved in the Athlete First Initiative is putting the athlete experience from registration through race day absolutely first. It's not about profits. It's not about donations. It's about the athlete experience and making it the best race that we can possible for everybody.
What one of the things with Athletes First that you have is, I think you offer a refund at some point.
We do, and actually that's one of the things we didn't previously offer that I added when we created the Athlete First Initiative. We do allow no questions asked refunds. About 30, I think it comes down to 30 days before the event. So basically, if people want to register early, they can. If something comes up, all they got to do is just email me and say, please refund, and I'll process the refund. No doctor's notes, no excuses, no other information required. And then we just, I've been kind of running with the 1 month time frame just as kind of a test bed, because I didn't want to overdo what we were, I didn't want to overstretch how our finances are, because we're not, like I said, some of our events are not very large. But it just offers an additional opportunity for people to take advantage of the lower prices, even if they're not sure of their schedule right away.
Historically, what percentage of people, it hasn't been around that much yet, but what percentage of your registrations are taking advantage of that?
It's been around for a total of 4 events that we've produced so far, and I've given a total of 3 refunds. So it's, and that might, I'm working more on making sure people know that this is an option and things like that. So hopefully this year we'll get, but hopefully we don't have anybody getting refunds. But if people do want them, we will provide them. And it's not something that we're trying to hide or put behind a bunch of stuff. This is front and center on our website. It's front and center on every event page, and it's front and center in every email that goes out as well.
So in terms of the Houston Kids race, so this year, 1,600 kids, right, in April?
April, yeah.
April. And so 1,600 kids typically means 3,200 parents. It's about 5,000 folks showing up. I would have to guess that there's lots of different bike types. There's everything from your most basic, Walmart bike, all the way up. I'm sure there's a couple kids there with aero helmets and carbon fiber wheels. How does that feel like? Like, you're going into the weekend, you have a 2-day event, and how does that feel like? How do you not only manage the kids, how do you manage the parents, all those expectations? And then what does that feel like Sunday night afterwards, after that, small town, size of 5,000 people? How do you feel on Sunday night? Tell us about that weekend a little bit.
Yeah. So we actually estimate that we have, over the course of the weekend, over 10,000 people in attendance at the event. Because yes, you do have mom and dad, but you also have brother and sister. You also have cousins, grandparents, and things like that. So it's a lot of spectators, and we're filling up the parking lot at Typhoon, Texas. The dealing with all my least favorite. I love the kids. The kids are amazing and great. Parents can sometimes be a little bit of a pain, but for the most part, they're pretty well behaved. We do a lot of pre-event communication for that event. I think I send out about 25 pre-race emails, plus I do online webinar. I have open question and answer sessions. I call it office hours. Basically, I'll send out a link to a video chat, and people can just join in and ask me questions directly while I'm sitting at my desk working. And then we do some different pre-race clinics and things like that as well. Our goal isn't necessarily to teach triathlon and to teach kids how to do a transition. So we work with a lot of the local clubs. A lot of the local clubs here in Houston have a youth program, or there are even some clubs that are youth specific clubs. So anybody that actually needs some help with like the training side of things, I generally will push them to those coaches for that kind of stuff. We focus on just getting as many people in and introduced to the sport as possible. And so race day is a little interesting. So one of my big things that we do is once the parents can help the kids get set up in transition that morning. It's a lot of people hanging out and a lot of things happening in transition. And then at about 6:30, 6:45 in the morning, I kick the parents out of transition. At that, the way I kind of phrase it is, you are now entrusting your kids with me. And I do. There's a few reasons for that. One is for the safety of the kids. Because it's a lot of people that are in transition. Get people that don't need to be there out. Make sure all the kids have a fair event. Make sure that that everybody completes the event safely. So it's a lot of trust that these parents are putting in me and taking care of their kids. I don't actually allow parents to go down to the swim start even, because when we first started, and it caused a lot of distractions. Kids when they start seeing their parents, they get distracted and don't, and then they run over, and now I've lost control of the kids, and then one does it and then multiple do it. So it's one of those things where we really have to dial in and be really aware of what's going on around us. A couple of years ago, I started kind of feeling bad that the parents didn't get to see the kids start the swim. So what I did is I brought in a big screen, 17-foot by 10-foot LED screen, and a video production team to actually like create a stadium atmosphere with like a jumbotron, where we have cameras over by the swim start and cameras running through roaming through transition, all that kinds of stuff. So parents can actually like watch the event unfold on the big screen. But other than that, it's really like I said, for the most part, the parents are great. I've tried many things over the years. I think we're going into our 13th year this year, 12th or 13th year. We've tried a lot of different things over the years, including completely locking everything down with as much fencing, barricade, and everything you can possibly think of to like make sure that it's a direct path. I've kind of gone to more kind of an open flow, where we use cones to kind of direct what the course is, and then let parents cross as they need to. And it's really opened it up and made the spectator experience way, way better across the board. For Sunday night, what it feels like is when I crack open that first beer, Tom, it's amazing. On Sunday night, it's a long weekend. We start on Thursday morning at 7 a.m. setting up transition, and then we have packet pickup. And then Friday morning, we finish the race site setup and have early bike check-in on Friday evening. Saturday is race day. As soon as that is completed, we reset for Sunday. That means renumbering all the racks, getting all the chips on the racks, and then hosting packet pickup and early bike check-in for the Sunday race, and then Sunday race, and then we break down, and then we go home. So it's a lot of stuff happening over the course of 4 days, but the team really does a great job of hitting all the points and making sure that all the pieces are in place for a successful race.
I had talked to Ryan Jensen, your partner in crime, and I think he relayed that a few years ago there might have been a few minutes late. You started, and did the kids start like chanting and revolting? Like, how'd that work?
So what he was referring to is we have with the short course and long course, and on the way the event is structured right now due to scheduling with the venues and things like that. On Saturday is just short course and specialty events. Specialty events being para events and splash and dash and things like that. Sunday is short and long course triathlon. So we get another short course race, but we also add long course there. Mm-hmm. The long course participants, we don't start that event until the final short course participant starts their run. So in order to do that, we have to bring the long course participants down to the swim start, and they kind of have to wait for a little bit while the short course kids are finishing up the bike. we had a participant that was just taking a little longer than normal, so we were running just a couple of minutes behind schedule, but not bad. But suddenly, Ryan had mentioned that kids started chanting, "Let us start." And a couple of kids started doing it, and then more kids started doing it. And then all of a sudden, they have 500 kids chanting, "Let us start," at the start line. So, yeah, I wasn't down there, so I didn't see it. So this is all secondhand account. But from I could only imagine what hearing all 500 of those long course kids chanting that would like do to your ego at the time.
You know, next April when the race when you open up for registration, or you for next April, you how much does this experience cost? And I think you get like a free entry into the park afterwards, or you can use it that year. What's the entry cost all in?
So all in, the entry cost. Sorry, I don't have registration open right now, so I need to go back and look.
Because it's not only a morning, then potentially the family can turn it into a day, buy extra tickets. You can take those tickets, I think, and use them anytime during the year. It's pretty flexible.
Yeah. In addition to the first class event, every single registered participant gets a free water park ticket that can be used either that day of the event or anytime through the summer, the following summer. We start registration off at $75 flat. And that includes the water park ticket, the race, the photos, the shirts, the medals, all the things you come to expect at an event. And then we slowly increase the price up to about $110 on the week of the event. During the registration process, parents can purchase additional discounted water park tickets. So they can, obviously you're not going to send your kid in by yourself. But they can, so that way they can join in the fun at the water park as well.
And this race not only included the 75, also it's an all-inclusive price. It also includes the insurance, correct? You don't have to buy secondary insurance from the NGB.
Correct. Yeah, there was a few. Yeah, we don't sanction the event through USA Triathlon, so there's no additional membership or insurance fee that's charged on top of the registration costs.
And is that been perceived pretty well?
I mean, our abandoned cart rate has gone down significantly, and I have not heard anything to the negative from the core audience of our team. Any negatives I've heard have been from some of the more higher established teams, which our event really isn't designed for anyways. That are trying to get points and things like that. The way we handle our insurance through the CalTri affiliate program helps us keep the event at the beginner and entry level versus being a competitive event. Yes, we still time it. Yes, we still give awards, but this is truly a finishers first event. The awards is kind of a secondary thing we do off to the side after everything is concluded. So our being able to bundle in our insurance with our registration has really helped us dial in the beginner friendly nature of it for people that don't know who the NGO are. So.
Well, it's this year, as you know, we are going to have an adult version for the first time, CalTri Houston, on September 13th. And I think it'll be a little... Is it your birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday. You are a good-looking 30-year-old man.
30, I'm 28.
The two things I think that are different from the kids event, well, three things. One is it's in the fall. Two, it's adult only. It's 18 plus. And then three, the format is going to be different. It's going to have the run first, a 1.6 mile run first, I believe a 6 and change mile bike, and then a lap of the lazy river, and then finish in a bit of a pool party. So it's a reverse tri that comes up on September 13th, and it's a first year event, so we're hoping that it builds, but we have over triple digits, and I think when the word gets out that this event is available and that adults can finally get to do it, it's definitely a beginner friendly. Like we're starting to explore sort of the beginner friendly, really beginner friendly market. So we'll see how that goes. That's our first of back to back to back races with Houston, then Austin, and then our new course. We moved our course up in at DFW, so we're excited about that. And thank you for all the support. It was just, I guess, a year ago we talked about adding CalTri Houston to the series, and you're very collaborative and invited us, made all those introductions, and we certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, we're really looking forward to that event. I think it's definitely gonna be a first of its kind event in Houston, because I have not ever seen anything like a reverse tri or any adult events at a water park or anything like that. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be a fun afternoon or fun morning.
I looked at the race registration information the other day, and a lot of the folks are from Texas and Houston, but there's actually folks from states far, far away. So they must really like the water park concept as well. So I'm really excited about that. And we're gonna the other thing that we should talk about before we close this is we're doing the TriFind Race Director Summit on October 31st. It's the day before Newport Optimism Newport Dunes. And you do the timing for us for all of our races, with the exception of our new race, Oro Valley, CalTri Oro Valley. And so you'll be there, I think, at the summit. And I know we're hoping that you'll share some of your experiences with putting on one of the largest youth events in the United States. So we're excited to have you there and have you part of that conversation with other race directors like Spudman is bringing, I think, 3 folks down from Idaho, and there's other folks coming in, et cetera, et cetera. So we're looking forward to seeing you at the Race Directors Summit.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, I've been looking forward to that since you announced it a couple of 3 or 4 months ago. The being able to share what we've learned producing this kids triathlon over the years, I think, can really help any race director that's kind of hesitant about producing a kids only event or anything like that. We've had a lot of pain points over there and a lot of lessons learned, but at the end of the day, we're buttoning up, we're tightening the event, and it's a solid production now. So I think we have a lot of good knowledge that we can share to help any race director that wants to get going on the kids side of things.
When I first met you, I think the race was called the Houston Texans. It was partnered with the NFL, and I have to imagine that provided a bunch of lift. I don't think they're involved anymore, but it seems like your numbers have gone up even without the involvement of that NFL franchise. Is that accurate?
It is, yeah. So the Texans were involved for 3 years. They came on initially in the 2022 event, and they were fantastic partners. What they did is they really introduced us to a lot of parts of the Houston area that hadn't heard of the event before, because the event does take place in Katy, which is west of Houston. They are since they've been involved, and since they have exited, I think 2025 and 2026 was post Texans involvement. The event's grown significantly over those 2 years, going from 1,300 participants to over the 2 days to 1,600, and our audience continues to expand through the Houston market versus just before where previously it was about 70% were from the Katy area, the Katy, around that West Houston area. Now our main demographic is inside if anybody knows the Houston area, inside the Loop or inside 610. They really helped spread the word, and they really helped me understand what a race was beyond just the race, specifically regarding the athlete experience and the post-race portion of it, because they took care of all of that when they were partners. When this event kind of fell out of what they were trying to do with their foundation, and we decided to part ways, I had to bring my A game on what a post race was now, because we're now not having, the Houston Texans players and cheerleaders and mascots and things out during the event. So we've really had to up our game, and it's really, I think, made me a better race director across the board. Just seeing that and seeing what else was possible. I mean, I'm so focused on the race aspect of it, I really didn't put much into the experience part of it. So it was a great partnership. I loved working with them. They were super easy to work with. They provided a lot to the events, but now we're doing this on our own, and it's been great. We've just continued growing year over year.
And tentative date, while we wrap up, just a tentative date for next year is April.
It's actually May. The water park is requesting a pushback because of the water temperatures. I think they want to put when they first opened back in 2016, they didn't open until Memorial Day each year, and then they've slowly bumped their open date further and further into April. And that's how our events landed the past, 8-9 years. It's landed in April. They are moving back to the old schedule because they're just not seeing the foot traffic in the water park. Just I think it's because it's Houston, but in April we could get a cold snap. It'll be 50, 60 degrees in the morning sometimes on race morning, which is fantastic for a runner race director, but not so much for hanging out in a water park after the event. So we're moving our target dates for this year. We're still waiting on a couple of approvals, but our target dates for 2027 are May 22nd and May 23rd.
And that is the week before Memorial Day.
It
right?
is, yeah. And the week after Mother's Day.
Okay. Well, Ryan, Dell, and Thom Richmond, we are with Tony Sapp, who has lots of hats he wears. He is a national timer, puts on a bunch of different races, not only triathlon, but running events. Is there anything else, Tony, that our audience of 10 people should know about what you do?
We offer full production services as needed. We also produce several other events in addition to the Kids Triathlon. I do this full time. This is what I do for a living since 2014. I love talking shop, love talking races, love talking the industry. So if anybody has any questions, they're more than welcome to reach out to me on the website, mynegativesplit.com, and I'll get back to them within an hour.
Tony, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that URL. What was that?
Mynegativesplit.com. That's where they can reach out to me if anybody has any questions.
Tony, thank you so much for being part of season 6 of California Triathlon Soup. And thank you for being such a good partner so many different ways. This is a conversation that could go on for hours. We look forward to seeing you at our upcoming races and certainly at the TriFind Race Director Summit. On behalf of Optimism, our series, national series partner, want to say thank you for that and have a great week.
You guys too. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.